request and I have to say,
Yes, ganyan na ganyan yung itsura niya.
let's do it! What the hell? Like, it's me. And you say, oh my God.
It was like, holy beep. What's going on? Because even now I get like speechless.
Why is it important for a beauty queen to have a good?
You do not know how to speak your mind. You're not going to give your organization much credibility for what you're really fighting for.
Beauty queen doesn't mean perfection. Now I feel embarrassed to say this, but I'm going to do it because that's how I am. So I'm gonna go.
My wave became the Miss International wave. Right, Steven? I have become a patent.
Ito naman yung bumaba. Sabi ko, oh my God, kasi nasabi ko ng planet Hall. Tapos pag inaangat ko, hinihila niya. So ako, angat siya. Hinihila.
My travels. I love my travels.
I would just want it to be that I gave something back that made them happy.
Money or love?
Love.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Today, we will be discussing the Miss Universe Philippines 4th Hot Picks. This is not the final Hot Picks, but we think that the time is now ripe to discuss what is going on in the pageant. In the past, the frontrunners are quite easy to spot. This year, our panel of beauty experts find it difficult to pulse the trends. It will be quite interesting on what's going to happen on the final Hot Picks. So joining us today is our expert in predicting beauty pageant results, which he has a very good track record, and a member of Missosology's panel of beauty experts, Amir Gamama. And also joining us is our graphics designer and also a beauty expert, Kenneth Von Villa. So guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasure. Good morning.
Sharing to you now, it's the Miss Universe Philippines 2024 4th Hot Picks. So again, I'm saying that this is not our final Hot Picks. There's still one more to go, and that will be the final Hot Picks. So this is just the 4th Hot Picks. So I'm going to share to you now on the screen as we are going to review the previous Miss Universe Philippines 2024 Hot Picks. So on the first Hot Picks, we had Taguig on the top position, followed by Quezon Province, Cebu, Baguio, and Iloilo, and you can see the rest. For the second Hot Picks, we had Baguio leading, followed by Quezon Province, Pampanga, Bacoor, and Cebu. Interesting that Quezon Province retained the second spot. And for the third Hot Picks, by far, as the statistics is showing us, the most popular, we have Iloilo City on the top, followed by Cainta, and now Baguio slipped to the third spot. And then we've got Zambales. So we're moving on. First, I'm gonna introduce to you my top 5. So I must admit I'm not really of a beauty pageant expert, but I have been in Missosology for so long, 20 years and counting. So I have an idea more or less on what is going on with the beauty pageant world, although this is not really my line of work or my line of interest. So my top 5 as of the moment is Baguio, Quezon Province, Iloilo City, Taguig, and Cebu. So just briefly, Baguio, she's actually my favorite, and a lot of people also told me that she is the favorite of everyone. They're also their favorite, but there has been some questions about her capacity to do interviews, although she can answer questions, but people are looking now for more deeper answers, for spontaneity, for wittiness, but so far they say that Baguio is a bit lacking in that department. And I also chose Quezon Province. She's Miss International first runner-up, so she is very experienced. I think that she is a Miss Universe material. Iloilo City, I think I'm from Iloilo, so I'm a bit biased here. But so far, as the pageants progress, we've seen a lot of awards given to her. She's a top favorite, and what I like about her the most is her ability to answer questions quickly with depth. She's really intelligent, guys. So I think that she has a good chance in winning the crown. Taguig also, I like her. I like her overall aura. And then Cebu, she's also one of the most experienced one, and I think that she's also a top candidate. But there's been some questions about her age, because as Amir told me yesterday, there are now like 5 titles being that's gonna be given by MUP. So some of those pageants have age ceiling, and I don't think that Miss Cebu is what you call this uh, is within the limits of the age that the pageants require. So far, only the Miss Universe, that's the one that she is eligible based on her age. So that's my top 5, guys. I hope I'm not gonna be bashed by my choices. So just a reminder, this is just my personal choices. So we move on to Amir's top 5. That's your top 5, Amir. So if you could be so kind to tell us why is it that you chose these 5 women.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning. And it's good to be back again predicting the Miss Universe Philippines. Every time we do some prediction, Rick, I'm very much, excited. However, for this year's, I have no time to cover since I have very busy with my schedule because it's audit season. But still, I'm watching some of the videos, photos, interviews of the girls. So these are my personal choice, top 5's personal choice. This is in random order, actually. So I have here Quezon Province. For me, it is no doubt that she is one of the most strongest contenders of this year's contest. She is the queen of consistency, as I mentioned. She never falters and always delivers. And for me, Atisa stays on my top spot. She always makes sure that she's at her best self from the very first day up to this day. Atisa from Binibini 2018, if I am correct, was totally different this time. She got this look that everyone says that this girl will definitely get a crown. She really improved a lot. Her catwalk was so firm during catwalk challenge presentation. However, I should say nonetheless, she must not be too complacent as this batch has a lot of crown deserving girls. But I really love Atisa. I've always met her during some judging stints in different provinces and regions, so I know her personally somehow. And so, yeah, she's one of my top contender for Miss Universe crown. And also, I have here with me is Bacoor. So Bacoor is one of the candidates who isn't new to the pageant arena. She's a silent killer waiting for the weakness of her opponents when left unguarded. She with a class. For me, Bacoor is not showing off more of her true. She's now showing more often her true personality each day that passes by. She's improving a lot. I love also her catwalk skills, jaw dropping the runway while showing up her sultry runway looks. So I hope she maintains that kind of looks. And also have here Taguig. You know, she's so tall with her legs that stretch for days. I think Christy can tower over everyone without really trying. But once she tries, I may tell you, this might will come out as uber strong. I've heard that she's a good speaker also, so she might ace the Q&A portion. I love her skin color. I love her skin complexion. For me, Matt Gary is a fiercer than ever. That's why I put her in my top 5 also favorites. And I also have here Baguio. Oh my God, I wish I have that kind of face. Face card is the strongest suit. I mean, face card is stronger suit. Sensual sweetness comes next for Tara. She has this incomparable beauty. I love her styling. You know, Tara is a clear crown ready candidate, stealing the spotlight with her goddess-like looks, with this infectious ball of charm on the runway, bringing a unique change of the competition with her fun-loving personality and grace. While she's doing the catwalk, you can see her personality, the charm, the grace. That's why I love her. This bombshell beauty queen was so fun to watch. She has more energy on her walk. I just love her face. Pretty and gorgeous. That's it. And I also have here Iloilo, of course, the crowd's favorite every time there's a presentation. I love her personality as well. She climbed up to the top 5 this time for me because of her performance in the past sponsor visits, which she earned some special awards. Her standout performances in swimwear, what else? Catwalk challenge. I love her national costume presentation. Her performance and presentation were flawless. She's my bet for best in national costume. She may not be the chameleon in the eyes of many, but Alexi is definitely a scene stealer. I'm pretty sure that she will ace the Q&A portion of the pageant because I've seen some of her interviews. She's really fluent in speaking English. So I think she will ace the close-door interview as well as the Q&A portion comes the finals night if she will be given the chance to speak. So that's my top 5 for now. So that's Quezon Province, Bacoor, Taguig, Iloilo City, and Baguio.
Okay, I think that we have some candidates there that we both chose. Now
Yes.
we're going to move on. Excuse me. And now we're going to move on to the top 5 of Kenneth. Kenneth, here are your choices. Would you
Hello
like
guys.
to?
Hello guys.
morning.
Good day and thank you very much to Missology for having me today, and of course to share to give for the opportunity to share my skills and talent in graphic designing, as graphic content provider to Missology. So here's my top 5. So I'm gonna start with my now fifth spot. So my fifth spot would be the Pampanga, Miss Pampanga. So Miss Pampanga for me is a silent, but I know she has a power, to power. But it's not just her physical beauty that sets Miss Pampanga apart from other candidates. It's her persona, rich with layers of deep and complexity. She's not content to simply conform to society's expectations. Rather, she challenges them, pushing the boundaries of conventional beauty and redefining what it means to be truly elegant. And my fourth spot would be Kainta. So Miss Kainta, Stacy. No, so I don't know, but she's one of my favorite contestant in this batch. She stood out with unparalleled grace, charm, and confidence in her performances. Now, so from the moment she stepped on the stage, it was evident that she was not just a contestant, but a true beacon of elegance and poise. So I also love her communication skills. Her words were not just spoken, they were embodied with passion, conviction, and sincerity. So whether she was answering a question or sharing her thoughts, her voice resonated with authenticity, leaving a lasting impression on all who listen to her. So my third spot would be Palawan. So Palawan is I think one of the youngest candidates in this batch. As she's only 18 years old,
18,
I think.
yeah,
So
18 only.
yeah, 18. So Raven Doctor from Palawan has undergone a remarkable transformation. So rising from a mere candidate to a potential front runner, so in the competition. So her prowess on the runway is undeniable, earning her the title of the Queen of Pasarela. So in this year's batch, so with her stunning long legs and striking appearance, Raven commands attention wherever she goes. So as the competition heats up, Raven's trajectory suggests that she could be a formidable contender for the crown. So with the right styling and wardrobe, maybe choices come the finals night, she has the potential to surpass even the most hyped candidates and emerge as a surprising victor. So leaving a lasting impression in the pageant world. So let's keep an eye no, on Raven Doctor. She poised and to make a significant impact on the outcome of the competition. So second on my list is Chris Stephanie Johnson, embodies the epitome of dedication and perseverance in the realm of beauty pageants. So rather than relying solely on her past achievements, her path to the crown was marked by relentless effort and remarkable transformation as she sculpted her physique back to its peak form. So reminiscent of her stellar performance in 2014 as she joined the Binibining Pilipinas and represented the Philippines, of course, in the Miss Intercontinental. So beyond her physical transformation,
Miss Intercontinental,
Chris, yes. So beyond her physical transformation, Chris possesses an undeniable charisma that captivates the hearts of the public effortlessly, not only in the beauty pageant, but also some of her, if you watch the some of her TV ads. Now, so her charm has the power to enchant anyone she encounters, making her a formidable contender in the national stage once again. So while some may view her hiatus from the pageant scene a potential obstacle, Chris' return is backed by unwavering support of Cebu's finest. So with the backing of a strong team, she stands poised to defy any doubts about her age. She's 34, no, but her performance, we can see that age really doesn't matter. So in the world of pageantry, where the competition is fierce, Chris Stephanie Johnson stands as a testament to the enduring legacy, of course, of Cebu beauty queens, ready to reclaim her throne and continue the tradition of excellence.
Yes.
Ayan, so last, Baguio. So Baguio, I think from the first to the present hot picks, Baguio is the only one na consistent sa hot picks ng top 5. So Tara Valencia from Baguio stands out as one of the youngest candidates this year. Yet her presence is impossible to ignore with her flawless catwalk skills and stunningly long legs. Now she exudes confidence on the runway. However, no, some pageants fans and of course, as I also observed, that have raised concern about her communication skills. While she may not sound like the other front runners when answering questions, but there's potential for improvement, and Tara could benefit from practicing how to command attention and articulate her thoughts more effectively during Q&A sessions. With dedication and practice, maybe she could elevate her overall performance and become an even stronger contender in the competition.
Okay, very good.
I think so.
Yes. What a lovely insight, guys. So, what I like about this is we have one single candidate wherein we consistently pick, and Kenneth also emphasized that he is the consistent one. So that would be Baguio. I love how our choices are so different. There are similarities, but that's it, no? That's the business of predicting beauty pageants. We have different opinions. We have different insights. And like I said in the opening statement, that this year is quite difficult to predict because there are so many, I don't know, there's so many strong candidates. And I also like what Kenneth said, that for Baguio, we're looking for someone that we can train for Miss Universe. I think Amir will agree with me when I say that what we're looking for is not necessarily the best. We're looking for someone that we can train and we can be proud of when Miss Universe, during the Miss Universe competition. So like Baguio, if she lacks communication skills, then she can be trained and
yes.
You know, one thing to consider in this year's Miss Universe competition is their age requirement for other crowns. So I think like Cebu and Christy McGarry is Miss Universe or nothing. Because just I think just yesterday,
Correct.
the Miss Universe Philippines just mentioned in their, I think posted in their page that they will be crowning another 4 titles after the Miss Universe Philippines in a separate venue, or I should say, or a different event rather. So when I was about to check the age requirements for other pageants, I think national international competition pageants, I think Christy and Miss Cebu only have the chance to win Miss Universe Philippines. It's Miss
Correct.
Universe or nothing for them.
Mhm.
Now it is really such a struggle for them because this year's batch is too many uh,
Front
girls who
runners,
are
yeah.
stood out
That's
always
right.
every time. So I think it's a win-win situation for them.
Yeah.
I think I
They'll
love I
be
love I love how this competition now because so many beauty queens coming from different pageants and now competing in one title, Miss Universe.
yeah, very interesting. Okay, guys, we will move on. Um, now is the time to check out the fourth hot picks. So we'll start with the top 10 and we will go down from them 9, 8, countdown. So as I share, if you have something to comment about the candidate, that would be very, very welcome. But I have to warn you that so far, I have not really followed everyone in the pageant. Most of the time, I only focus on the front runners and those that people are talking about all the time. So without further ado, we have number 10, Cagayan de Oro. Do you have any thoughts, Kenneth, about Miss Cagayan de Oro?
I think one of my I think I observed about Cagayan de Oro or CDO. She emerges as a rare gem that defies convention with her unpredictable styling, fairy looks, and unwavering confidence. Maybe I think yun na pa.
In this picture, I see Miriam Kiamba on her. I don't know. Maybe I'm just mistaken. But I think she's very poised. Very Filipina beauty. I think I
Yes.
like her. How about you, Amir? You have any thoughts about number 10 in our hot picks, Cagayan de Oro?
Oh, for Miss Cagayan de Oro, I've heard that she is so trained well in the closed door and in the Q&A. So I would expect her to ace the Q&A in that matter. In her presentation, I admire the confidence that she showed during her presentation. So I've seen her confident enough to win the title, to even to join the semifinalist. So I hope she will be given the chance.
So let's keep an eye on her, guys. I think she's one of those dark horses, if that's a correct term. And now we move on to number 9 in our fourth hot picks. We have Bacoor. I'll start, no? I'm a bit disappointed by this choice. I think she should have been ranked higher, but like I said, we have our opinions about the contestants are vastly different. So to come up with a single list using the opinions of different people, it's quite difficult. So sometimes you have this kind of surprise placement. Like I hope that on the final hot pick she will place higher because I think she has a lot of potential. Kenneth, any thoughts?
And I agree with you, sir, no, that maybe in the higher spot in the top 10 or maybe in top 5. I agree with you, sir, for Bacoor. And she has made a remarkable transformation since her last stint at Miss Universe Philippines. So she has returned with a bang this year, showcasing a more relaxed and focused approach. So her comeback is marked by a significant improvement evident in her fresh video entries and refined pasarela. So Victoria's renewed energy and redirection have maybe positioned her as one of the front runners in the competition. So with each stride forward, she proves her resilience and determination to shine on the Miss Universe Philippine stage.
Yeah, and I must say she has a legion of fans. On the first hot pick, she was left out she was left out in the list, and a lot of people are complaining, and I think rightly so, because I think that she deserves to be in the first hot picks. What do you think, Amir? Do you think that she should be placed higher on this
You know, she's in
list?
my top five for now, Rick. But you know, honestly, I'm not a fan of her before. I'm not a fan of her before. However, watching her journey to the Miss Universe Philippines, I think she improved a lot. She's now showing more of her true personality day by day. So I also like, especially her runway skills, her sultry runway looks. I love her. So that's why she's in my top five now. So I hope she will continue to do that. So hopefully she will be in the final hot picks, in the top five final hot picks.
Mhm.
She's
Okay,
improved. She improved a
guys.
lot.
Yes, that is true. So we move on to number 8, Quezon Province. Again, this is a surprise. I really thought that she would be placed higher in our list. But then again, I cannot emphasize this, if you have multiple viewpoints being taken into considerations, sometimes you have surprise placement. That's the second time I said it. Personally, I think that she is a top tier candidate. She is a Miss International first runner up. Some people told me, I think that she is just for Miss International. I think that's her pageant. For Miss Universe is another story, but I really hope that the organizers can find some good qualities in her, that she can be trained, that she is actually a malleable candidate. She can be whatever they like her to be. And I hope that, I mean, she must not lose her own personality, but I think that she can always train herself so that what Miss Universe is looking for, um, she can offer the same thing. I think that her interview skills need some polishing, but she is really also good at the interview. She can answer questions. Catwalk, a lot of people says that there's a lot to be improved. And I hope that Miss Universe Philippines, her beauty, no question. I think that she is a top tier candidate. Kenneth, what are your thoughts of Miss Quezon
So my
Province?
thought
And
about
I might add, she's not in your
answer.
top five. Huh?
Yeah.
She's not there.
Yeah, so Atisa Manalo so emerges as now no this batch as one of the most anticipated candidates, just like Iloilo, so marami ding fan base si Atisa. So nevertheless, no, so her captivating facial beauty remains her greatest asset. So while there's um for improvement in her Q&A skills, it is undeniable that Atisa, no, is also one of the best candidates. And also from the runway challenge, siguro nakulangan ako medyo sa kanyang runway challenge. That's why I put her in my I think top 8 ata. So in my list, but overall she has the face card. Yeah.
Rick, you can
How
hear.
about you, Amir? Sorry. How
Okay.
about you, Amir? What are your thoughts?
You know,
She's in
Rick,
your top five, like me. Huh?
yes, and I'll be honest. For now, as of today, she is my Miss Universe Philippines.
Oh,
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about her, and I also heard a lot of, some comments about her, not so good comments about her. Well, maybe people are expecting too much from her because everyone was waiting for her since the time of what was the time? Who knows? People are expecting her during the time when she was shown to be on the Miss Universe Philippines organization's
yes.
screening. So yeah, so
Yes.
people are expecting too much of her.
Yeah.
But for me, she's the queen of consistency. She never falters for me. I think at Pisa, day by day, she showed her personality. She showed how she improved a lot. And I think this girl will definitely get a crown. Um, Kenneth mentioned about her catwalk, not so superb catwalk, but on my part, I think she's a superb catwalk. I love her catwalk, honestly. I've seen her personally during the times of in local pageants, in judging pageants we've met together. So I've seen a lot of her personality, and she has a lot of potentials. So I stick with Afisa for now. She's my Miss Universe
Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of expectations on her. Personally, I also find her catwalk lacking. I'm
Yes,
expecting more. I
yes.
was expecting that since she is a pageant
But if you
veteran,
try
Miss Universal
to
first
check
runner.
read on a box of like as if she's not a visa, as if she's not a visa,
Yeah,
then you just can see that she's doing so good. But because people are expecting her already, so people are expecting to see more of Atisa. People are expecting more of her catwalk skills, more of her Q&A skills. But if Atisa was not Atisa before, and you can see her personally as of this moment, then you can see she's on a top contender.
yeah. I think that might be right because that's a disadvantage of participating in a pageant when you are already a veteran, when you already have an experience, because people put you in a certain corner and said that I expect her to be like this, but then she should not
Yes.
be. Unlike with the fresh candidates, first time you saw her and then you was like, wow, she's really good.
Yes.
Yes,
That's
that's a
actually the
problem also.
disadvantage of
Yeah.
comeback queens.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it's very challenging for her. It's actually a high pressure for her because after winning
Yes.
Miss International runner-up and now joining Miss Universe, it's totally different game. And that's why I
Yes.
would say she's changed a lot because from a very sweet kind of girl now to a
Yeah,
more
Miss
different
Vera.
kind of girl. It will take a lot of effort,
Yes, correct,
changing
correct,
that
correct.
kind of personality. But yeah, I agree with some of your comments. However, I see Atiza as Atiza now. I never compared her from the Atiza previously,
Previous.
Atiza. So that's why, she's my top contender for the crown. And I hope that she will continue to shine comes finals night.
Okay, guys, we move on to number 7, Taguig. Let's start with Kenneth once more. Taguig.
So Taguig. So Taguig, maybe one of also my favorite ano uh, contestants in this batch. No, Taguig has two international pageant experiences already. So Christy McGarry stands as a formidable force with a powerhouse team backing her. No, with height as her advantage, her P6 sets her apart as a clear standout. So her impeccable communication skills and captivating voice modulation leave a lasting impression. So aside from that, with the renowned so Mark Baumgartner dressing her for finals, Christy exudes elegance and sophistication. So while her modeling background shines, a touch of refinement in her pasarela will complete her stage presence. So come finals night, so maybe Christine McGarry is primed to seize the crown.
Okay, before we move on to you, Amir, I'm just reviewing her pageant credentials, and she has really a formidable experience. She's the first Filipina to compete in Miss Intercontinental twice, and she became the first runner-up in 2015. I think she's also an American citizen. She's holding 2 passports. So she competed at Miss New Jersey, Teen USA, where she finishes first runner-up. So with that kind of solid experience at beauty pageants, I think that she is a pretty good candidate. And I also like
Yes.
her beauty. I like her body structure. She's really statuesque, and she's also very elegant in the catwalk. How about you, Amir? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you are actually correct when you mentioned that she's ready because she has an international experience already. When I heard that she's joining Miss Universe Philippines, I was so excited for her, honestly, because I want to see her competing in Miss Universe. But there are a lot of more stronger girls than her. But what I love about her is, her towering looks, her heights, um, she's so fierce, And also her color, skin complexion. I love her color complexion because it's kind of a Filipina vibes complexion. So I just hope that during the finals night, she will shine so much than what she's showing right now. Because, I've seen some, I don't know, I was just really so excited for her to join the Miss Universe. But again, at her age, it's Miss Universe or nothing. She could be the runners up. That's the less title she could win. Because she's already 32, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so,
It's
yes.
Miss Universe or nothing for Christy McGarry.
Yeah,
So
also,
I
yes.
just hope that she will use the the experience that she have in international as her advantage.
All right. So now we move on to our top six in this list. Iloilo City. Uh, I'll start first. I
Yeah,
think
because
she's
she's from your place.
from my place, and she has received a lot of support from Iloilo, and I think it's a very good thing to see. Iloilo, Ilonggos are very supportive of their candidate. One thing that I would say is that she's a very divisive figure. For me personally, I think it's now the right time to crown someone who is of a different kind of beauty uh, in the name of diversity and inclusiveness. We cannot just have the same kind of beauty over and over again. We've been criticized before as the Philippines is only choosing half Filipino beauties, and I think it's an unfair accusation. But it looks like for the past few years, we've been sending contestants that are Filipinos. I think it's an unfair term because if you're Filipino, you're a Filipino. But looking back, you have Pia Wurtzbach, who is half German. You have Catriona Gray, who is half Australian, half Scottish, actually. And people are complaining, why are we not sending 100% pure Filipina? But then again, it's a debatable question because how do you define 100% Filipina? Being that the Philippines is a melting pot of culture. So moving aside from all those questionable nomenclature and all those names that we have given, all those name callings that other people are saying, I think that Alexi Brooks is a top tier candidate as well. I think that what I like her the most is her fighting spirit, and she has a very formidable team behind her campaign. And I think that she is really, really good at interviews, communication skills wise. No question about her. She's really good. My question now is if we will crown her as Miss Universe Philippines, how we will fare in the Miss Universe contest? That's a very big question. It's $1 million question. If we will send her to Miss Universe, are we in a good position to win the crown, or are we just going to cry once again when Celeste Cortese failed to make it to the top 15? We have to take note that there's a lot of going on in Miss Universe. I lost track of all the controversies and all of those things that is happening in Miss Universe. So for me, beauty-wise, she is good enough for Miss Universe Philippines crown. The question is, what will be the position of the Philippines if she will represent our country at Miss Universe? That's my question. Amir, what are your thoughts?
Um, sorry, excuse me. Alexi, one thing that I love about her is her personality. Every time there's a show, she's a scene stealer. And her fans, oh my God, I love her support system. I really love her support system. Rick, I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of short hair beauty queen, but this is totally different. You know, it suits her. She may not be the chameleon in the eyes of many, but she's totally different for me. Um, I can see a good vibes in her. Every time she is doing some catwalk, she's doing some performances on the stage, even in some short clips interviews, I can see some good vibes in her. I think she's the best personality. So I just hope that she will use it as her advantage comes the competition, the pageant nights. because one of the vesting criteria to choose a title holder is her personality. So I think she stood out because of her personality. I can see a good vibes on her. I don't know why. Whenever she walks, she talks, I can see a good vibes on her. So that's one thing I love about her, aside from what you mentioned, Rick. So she's a good vibes for me. I just love her personality. And I am corrected now that not all short hair. Now I'm corrected because I'm a fan of short hair now because of Alexi.
Kenneth, your thoughts on Alexi?
So Alexi Brooks, so from Iloilo, so stand out as one of the most promising contender for the MUPH crown. So buoyed by her extensive fan base and refreshing sporty persona. So in today's pageant arena, where height and social media prowess are paramount, so Alexi has demonstrated a strong online presence, setting her apart from the competition. So maybe this fan base, could actually influence the judgment, of the judge also. So however, so Alexi faces a significant challenge due to her resemblance to Zuzi Dini, so which may hinder her from carving out her own distinct identity. So to overcome this hurdle, so her styling team must work diligently to ensure that she remains authentic and avoids being like the into Zuzubini mold. So despite this obstacle, Alexi's strong support base and undeniable charisma position her as formidable candidate in the pursuit of the crown. So with the right approach and guidance, she has the potential to make a lasting impression and leave her mark in the competition. So siguro if meron akong magiging barkada, so tama yung sinabi ni Sir, from the short video clips in TikTok, in Reels, she really is funny, so siguro kung meron akong magiging barkada sa among all the candidates, siguro si Miss Iloilo yan.
Yeah, she's really a good vibe, and I would like to go back on Amir that now that Alexi is proving to everyone that the Filipina beauty is not only defined by long hair. We've been on that before, decades ago, centuries ago. Pag Filipina beauty should be long hair, straight hair.
Yeah.
Alexi is breaking that kind of concept, and I like it. If you look back sa Miss France, the latest Miss France, short-haired ang nanalo. The winner was short-haired, and she was criticized about it because, like us in France, they also look women long-haired. That's what defines femininity, and I think that it's wrong. And Alexi is proving everyone wrong,
right.
that the Filipino beauty is not just long hair, straight. She could be short, curly hair, and that's okay. She's also a Filipina.
Yeah, and that's why I said, that's why I mentioned that I want to stand corrected with that, because
yes,
even before I'm not a fan of short hair, but now I am a fan now of short hair because it really suits to Alexi.
Yeah,
super bagay, especially her personality. It comes out because of her short hair, I think. So yeah, I really like her personality, and I hope she will continue that kind of vibes.
Yeah, and I would like also to get back to Kenneth about the danger of I would like to lay this one on the table of being a copycat of another candidate. Let's call an ace an ace. Susie Binitunsi, there's no doubt. I think they're styling Alexi May to become the next Susie Binitunsi. But there's a danger in that. You remember Catriona Gray, they groomed her to become the next Megan Young. And I think that Catriona's personality was not really displayed in 100% in Miss World 2016. Instead, she followed the gown color, although there's a slight variation, the hairstyle, the way she was presented to the public and to the judges. She was like Megan Young 2.0. So Alexi May should be very careful if she will be lucky enough winning the Miss Universe Philippines. She should restyle herself so that she will not be seen as Zuzibini Tunzi
Zuzibini.
2.0. Yeah, like Kenneth said, she should carve her own niche, not just following other candidates that who won already the title. Otherwise, why we would crown Alexi May if we were just crown another Zuzibini Tunzi? We already had Zuzibini Tunzi as a winner before. So I think that's okay. We spent a lot of time talking about Iloilo City. I think it will be unfair to other candidates. But like I said, I like talking about Alexi because from the start, I already told you, she's a very divisive figure. A lot of people like her. A lot of people don't like her. Let's face the facts. Okay, now to the top 5. We have Laguna. Kenneth, we'll start with you. What do you think about Miss Laguna?
Siguro nakita ko lang sa kay Laguna. So from her first step on the stage, it's clear that she's not just there to compete. She's there also to captivate. So what sets Miss Laguna apart is her fresh look, most especially during the runway challenge, with her unconventional styling and fearless attitude. She really effortlessly commands attention to the audience.
How about you, Amir? What do you think about Miss
I
Laguna?
think Alexandra has an experience already in previous competition. I think she's a Miss Supermodel Worldwide 2022. I'm not sure if that is correct, but I think she has already an international pageant. So with that said, I think she could probably, use it as her advantage. I like her catwalk skills. I so love also her Filipina beauty. When every time I see her, I could see some face like actresses in our Philippine actresses. So she's a pretty girl. Her catwalk is okay, very okay, and her body also is so sexy. I love her presentation in the swimwear and also in her pasarela. So I just hope that she will continue shine. And she is also commendable for her, for her interviews.
Yeah. For me, Miss Laguna is a classic Filipina beauty. Her skin tone, her face, her body. I think that she can represent Philippines well in the international arena. And going back to what you said, Amir, she actually won the Miss Supermodel Worldwide 2022, the first Filipina to do so. So I think that she has
Yeah,
also a
that's
very good
why
potential.
her catwalk skills is superb. Not just okay, but superb because of her, modeling experience and also winning the title.
Yeah, I think that would be her biggest advantage, the pageant. Kenneth, any thoughts about Miss Laguna?
Maybe yun na po siguro, sir. Yun lang yung nakita kong about Miss Laguna.
All right, guys. So we move on to the 4th place, Miss Baguio. Okay, I like her. She's my Miss Universe Philippines at the bikini, and I really thought that months ago. I said, if the crowning moment is now, you should crown her. I think that she is the best that
Yes.
the best that the Philippines can send at Miss
Yes.
Universe. If not, you can send her Miss Supranational or anything, but at least give this woman a title because she is. I love her beauty. It's just a captivating beauty. But then again, when the pageant progressed, we found that her Achilles heel or her Waterloo are her communication skills. But I think that can be improved. I mean, we have lots of trainers and lots of people behind the scene that can help her with the interviews. That would be a very easy thing to develop. I mean, she's not that bad. She's just probably because we compare her to other women in the competition who are fast talker, witty. You can throw any questions and then they can answer right away. I think that can be developed. But again, I must emphasize that at Miss Universe, interviews matter a lot. At least that's what I remember since 2020 or 2021 moving forward. Even in the past years, they have put emphasis on the personality of the candidate, the way she handles herself, the way she talks. So it's something that she might want to develop further. But the way she do the catwalk, the way she present herself on stage, I think she deserves the Miss Universe Philippines crown. What do you think, Kenneth Baguio?
Sir, I agree with you, sir. So, Miss Baguio is my top one right now on my list for the fourth hot picks. So, grabe yung ano yan, yung styling, and actually makikita ko sa kanyang eyes, the killer eyes. Parang meron siyang pagka-Dembele na merong pagkaka-trio na. So, in one. So, something like that. So, um, Baguio really, for me, is among all the candidates has the one of the most beautiful, and pretty candidates, and I know na she can do better a lot. Siguro if she gonna be crowned as our MUPH. So ganun lang yung maybe sa communication skills. I know ma-improve pa din naman yan sa kanyang com skills.
Amir, what do you think?
Okay. For Tara, I don't know. I just love her face. So, so pretty and gorgeous. And as I mentioned, I really love her walk. I love her walk, especially because she's fun to watch with. When she walks, she have this kind of loving personality and grace. She's fun to watch because she has a lot of energy when she walks. But I've heard about her Q&A, that would be her water low. I don't know if that's true, but if that is true, then I think she already practiced it in many times. She focused on that perhaps. And Tara for me is ground ready. She's also ground ready for me. I just love her beauty. She's one of the, face card is her strongest suit. That's one thing I'm sure about. She is this kind of beauty that suits for in Mexico somehow to fight for Latina. But I just hope the one thing that my concern is her height. When she will be in with Panama, Peru, and beauty, no question at all. But her height, maybe somehow, I think she should work a lot on it in order to be, for the judges to find her not just on the focus on the height, but always on the beauty. But nonetheless, she's a crown contender for me. I have nothing bad to say about Tara because I love her. As you mentioned, she's one of the most prettiest candidates in this year's Miss Universe Philippines. But I can see her more suitable for another title. But if she will be given a Miss Universe title, then I just hope that she will really shine whenever she will be besides Peru and Panama or Puerto Rico, the P candidates, because of this girl's towering heights. So no question at all with her beauty. She's so pretty and gorgeous. She's my favorite face card girl for this Miss Universe.
All right. Okay, we move on to top 3. Pasig. Excuse me. I think I like her, beauty-wise. I don't know so much about her though, but I think that
You same, sir.
yeah, she's one of those let's say dark horses. Yeah,
Yes.
because I don't know so much about her. I don't know if there are any fan base. I don't see any people promoting her online. I don't see people commenting about her online. So I'm surprised she's top 3. What do you think, Kenneth?
The same, sir. Parang wala akong background about her talaga sa aking maybe top 20. Wala talaga. However, as gaya ng sabi mo, sir, maybe parang dark horse siya ng batch na to.
Amir, maybe you know something about her because I don't know if you
About
have.
her. Okay, for Miss Pasig, I think she's already married, right? She's already married and
Yeah.
she's already 38 years old. Again, it's Miss Universe or nothing for her.
Oh,
She's already a mother of two son, I think. So what I love about her is her your fighting spirit. As a mother of two kids, it will take a lot of challenge for her as of now. So definitely her journey to Miss Universe is not that easy because she has also responsibility to her kids. However, what I like about Selena is her chameleon look. She has this kind of pretty face also. You can never tell she's married already because of her looks, and she's also a performer when it comes to catwalk, when it comes to pasarela. She's also a performer when it comes to stage. So for Selena, she could be the first Miss Universe Philippines, married Miss Universe Philippines.
and going back to what we have discussed in the previous hot picks, no, not hot picks, beauty talks. If Miss Universe is now out there to prove that their inclusivity thing is actually a tangible thing, something that they will insist on, or something that they will prove to the critics that, hey, you're wrong, we're really into this inclusivity thing. Maybe they will start picking also a winner that is a married woman or someone who is older than 30. So if we send her to Miss Universe, maybe she has a good chance in winning. What do you think, Amir? Yeah. Okay, guys, let's move on to the top two. Zambales. For me, Zambales is also one of the candidates that to watch for. I don't think that she should be ranked this high in this list, but reminds me of Venus Ra. I think she has a very small waist, and I describe it very small, like a Venus Ra figure. And I think that's her advantage, no? Her beautiful figure. And maybe she is good for one of those 5 crowns in offer, but I don't see her winning the Miss Universe Philippines crown. I think there are more contestants that are better than her. What do you think? Let's start with Amir.
Okay, for Anita Ruz Gomez, funny thing is that people recognize her because she garnered an attention for her notably slender body, the waistline. I'm not sure if that is 49
Yeah.
centimeters. But more than that, she's also being called to be like a living Barbie doll due to her, again, her figure, hourglass figure. And what I love about Anita is her confidence. I know for a fact that she is into um, she's into advocacy that focus on physique through exercise and balanced diet, which shows in her body. I love how she represents herself, especially in swimwear competition, because she really has a good physique and her catwalk skills is also superb. However, it's not all about body. It's not all about figure. It's total package. So I'm not too quite sure about her Q&A. I'm not too sure about her, your speaking ability.
Yeah.
So, but I wish her the best because, it's quite different nowadays. Because as you mentioned, Rick, like Venus Ra, I can see also the figure like Venus Ra, the vibes of Venus Ra. And I love her. What I love most about her is her charisma to others. She has this kind of charisma. So I think, but I don't think um, she will be on this top two. I think she could place maybe quite a little top five. But I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve. But for me personally, I think she could be at least on the top five, but not on the top two, maybe. I don't know. However, if she worked really hard, I can see. However, if she will excel on the preliminary competition, then I might be corrected with my, with my comments on about her. But nothing bad to say about her because she's really, really doing her job. She's really working so hard, especially on her catwalk skills. She's really fun to be watched with. Anita is a kind of girl who has a good fighting spirit. You know, it's totally different. She's bring a different kind of game now. I see her already in competing in local pageants, so she's bring a different vibes in this Miss Universe Philippines competition.
Right. Kenneth, any thoughts about Miss Zambales?
Miss Zambales, I think, nasa top 7 ko siya, and she has a really strong personality and charisma, no? And as I can see, sa meron akong personal list, no? She really consistent as to the performances sa kanyang evening gown and sa kanyang styling, the swimsuit. And of course, last runway challenge, grabe yung, I think meron siyang unique catwalk na iba talaga sa among all the candidates. And also, sa kanyang Q&A, she is really confident with how she talks po.
Yeah. And I would like to emphasize, yes, what caught my attention about Zambales is her aura on the catwalk, coupled by her figure, very statuesque figure, very elegant figure, plus her catwalk skills. I think that's where her impact lies. But I'm not so sure about her interview skills. I don't know about her advocacy. I don't know so much about other things. I don't know how tall she is. I think she's quite tall. Not so sure. Sometimes height matters at Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Like Amir said, if you're standing next to a very tall Miss Venezuela or Miss Peru, then you might have problem shining among the crowd. You have to have an impact. Okay, guys, let's move on to the top one. I'm not so sure how do we react with the top one. We have Cebu. Let's start with Kenneth.
Cebu, as to experience, no, advantage niya po yung experience na sa beauty pageants as well as her charm. Siguro yun yung nakita ko pong advantage sa kanya to win the crown, and also the Q&A, no, hindi na masyadong kung merong improvements, hindi na masyado kasi magaling na din po siya as to communication skills, and grabe yung charm niya, and sa ibang fans makikita sa kanya, she really parang she's one of the dark horses po ng batch na to.
Yeah, before I move on to you, Amir, I just like to share my opinion. She's also one of the candidates that is Miss Universe Philippines crown or nothing because of her age. But I have a very $1 million question. Is the Chris Tiffany Janson back in 2014 is the same Chris Tiffany that we will be getting this year? As much as I believe that age doesn't matter, it could matter, and I'm not so sure how that would be. What will be the impact on her? Will it be a positive thing, or will it be a negative thing? Positive, when we talk about her experience. No, she has solid experience in the pageantry. Negative, on the other side, is that we always yearn for fresher beauty, for a beauty that we've never seen before. Just been around at the beauty pageant scene for a while. 10 years ago, she was at Binibining Pilipinas. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings about her. I think that she is deserving to be our top one in this week's Hot Picks, but I don't see her topping the final hot picks. I don't know. She's a risky choice. That's what I have to say. Amir, any thoughts?
Well, I agree with you, Rick. Because I've seen the styling of Chris Stephanie as the same as during her Binibining Pilipinas days. So I don't know if that is an advantage or what, but it looks good in her. You know, she shine bright with her grace, effortless beauty, and I can see a very humble personality to this Cebuana. You know, what I love about her is her beauty also. She has this effortless beauty and the charisma. And it's really a risk choice for Miss Universe, for Missology to put her in the top one spot. But if given the chance, if the Miss Universe now will crown an older girl above 28 years old, I think she's the best choice.
I think so too.
Stephanie is, you know, the pressure is so high on her because she's already a title holder. But nonetheless, she has a very good fighting spirit. I can see she's fighting to win the crown. But I think, Rick, it's not Cebu City, it's Cebu only.
Okay. It should be Cebu province. Okay.
Yes, it's
Apologies
not
for
even
the
Cebu province, it's just Cebu.
just Cebu.
You
Okay.
know why I mentioned that because I question myself why it is only Cebu. I don't know. Because I've never seen
Yeah.
a girl representing Cebu, but it's Cebu City or Cebu province, but Cebu only. I don't think I'm not familiar with that. But anyway, I'm not good in geographical whatever it
Yeah.
is. But you know, again, she can be Miss Universe runners up. She can win Miss Universe if given the chance that the Miss Universe organization, Philippines Miss Universe organization, will crown a girl more than 28 years of age, and she's the best
Choice.
girl to represent on that kind of age. So, but the thing is, it's too risk to put her as Miss Universe in our final hot picks. But
Yeah.
nothing bad to see again. She deserves all the titles that she is now. I can see a very, very humble personality in her. So I just wish that she will do good more on her preliminary competition, and let's see what will happen next. So after this preliminary competition, then we will come up with the final hot picks,
That's
and
right.
things
Yeah.
will change for sure. Things will change for sure.
Absolutely.
So
In the
Magkakagulo
preliminaries,
talaga
we'll
dito sa
see.
online world.
Yes.
so
So watch out for
it's
the
not
prelims.
actually a bad choice
Yes.
to put her number one for now, but I just hope that she will really shine
In the
with her
prelims.
grace comes preliminary. So for us to to justify why we put her number one now.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, that's it. So we've completed the top 10. I'm gonna reveal now the full hot picks designed by Kenneth. Kenneth, thank you for the beautiful graphics that you've given us. Very beautiful, very clean. I love the color palette. So we have Cebu on number 1, Zambales number 2, Pasig, Baguio, and Laguna. Number 6, Iloilo City, Taguig, number 7, Quezon Province, surprisingly, number 8, Bacoor, number 9, Cagayan de Oro, number 10. And you have also Cainta at 11, Cavite at 12, Pampanga 13th, Filipino community in Miami 14. You know, all of these geographical places that they put in this search, it's sometimes confusing, bordering annoying. Now we have Filipino community in Miami, so sometimes other countries will look, hey, Miami is now participating at Miss Universe Philippines, and it's confusing people, yeah. So we have Cabanatuan, Northern California, another Filipino community overseas, Leyte, Albay, Bacolod, and Manila. Thank you, Kenneth, for this wonderful graphics.
Thank you,
Most
Kenneth.
welcome pa.
Yes,
But we have
napakaganda.
to remind our viewers, Rick, that this is just the fourth hot picks.
4th hot picks.
And
We
among
will
the
still have.
list, Rick's my what do you call this? My dark horse here is Northern California. I love her beauty.
Yeah, I think also. Okay, final word. Who do you think will win Miss Universe Philippines? Let's start with Amir.
Okay. You know, I've mentioned already, Rick. For now, my girl to win, to win the title is Atisa, Quezon Province. I have really no doubt that she's the strongest contenders for me this year. Because I have mentioned she's a queen of consistency. But again, also, nonetheless, she must not be too complacent because there's a lot of crown deserving girls in this batch. So what I love about her is her fighting spirit also because she's really fighting so hard just to win the crown. Imagine she's been planning to join before the Miss Universe Philippines, but she only showed this year. So I think she's ready. She's ready to win the title. So for now, I am holding on the
Quezon
Quezon
Province.
Province.
Kenneth, your choice and why?
And my choice for now, and that would be Baguio. So from the start, no, ng Hot Pigs, she really consistent with her performances. So hindi siya nahulog talaga na sa top 5. And maybe kung meron lang talagang hinders her to win the crown, and that would be sa communication skills niya. I hope and I believe in the future, no, na ma-improve pa niya and talagang makukuha talaga niya yung crown. And as to the face card, among all the candidates, I think siya yung the best for me, the prettiest and gorgeous one.
Okay, for me, my choice, I'm not just gonna stick with one. My brain says it should be Quezon Province, Atisa. I think that she's the one. No need to discuss there. My heart says let's go for Iloilo City, not just because I'm from Iloilo City myself. Just speak Tagalog. Maiba naman. Let's go for something. Let's shock the world with an unconventional beauty representing the Philippines.
And
Did
you
you
know,
think
Rick,
that
this is
it's
kind.
yeah.
Sorry to catch you. Actually, this is a pressure for us because for I don't know how many predictions we already make sure that our top picks is the winner, actual winner.
Yes.
So it's kind of pressure for us this year.
Yes. I remember last year everyone is going for Pauline.
Pauline.
Yes.
And
only
yes.
Missosology went for Michelle. Everyone was raising their eyebrows until the moment that it was indeed Michelle who won. No. And
if you allow me, Rick, if you allow me to mention Drew Francisco, every time you have this kind of prediction, with Drew, we have this kind of discussion, especially during the times of Bea and also the times of the times of, I forgot the girl, the Cebuana also. So we have this kind of conversation and selecting the final hot picks. But nonetheless, Missosology has always been right since that period of time. So it's kind of pressure for us. So, I just hope we can have the right choice this time. So we could have a perfect choice again for Miss Universe. But this is not to influence the organization, but this is just, again, because some of the viewers would totally mention that we have this kind of influence. But you know what? Guys, we are just doing our job as an expert of beauty pageants.
That's not our fault. That's not our fault if you're the influencer. That's the fault of those we are influencing with.
Rick, every time we do some kind of this kind of prediction, not just on the Philippines, but on other national pageants, even in international competitions, we really work hard on selecting the final winner for Missosology. We really studied a lot.
Yeah. And to be fair, we correctly predicted the winner of Miss Universe when everyone thought Thailand is going to win. Everybody thought Thailand is going to win, but
yes,
and then we chose Nicaragua, and everyone will say, why?
We're actually so happy because we predicted the Miss World, the Miss Universe, the Miss Earth, except for Miss International. Oh, come on, Stephen.
Yeah, Stephen should step up his game. No, we don't do that. No, we don't do insider trading. No.
Yes, we don't do that. We play
fair.
Yes, we play fair, and we studied a lot.
Yes, and that's where the excitement lies. The way we work on it, the way we studied on it, the way we do the selection process. And when we get it right, then we are happy. But then if somebody just feed us with information that, hey, we will let this woman win, or let's say Philippines will win, then that's not fun anymore. People telling you who will win right away, then that's not fun anymore. The fun thing about all these predictions is Kenneth has just joined our beauty talks. The fun part of all of this is getting it right solely on your gut feeling, on how you studied the pageant and how you followed the pageant. Not because somebody told you this and that will win. That's the best part of this. So I hope that we'll get it again right. I don't think that our credibility hinges on our way we predict. But then again, we've been proven right and right all along, even though other beauty pageant websites failed to predict. Mrs. Olgi correctly predicted. And Amir has a lot of contribution to that as well.
Yeah, Rick, whenever I have this kind of selecting the winner of any national pageant or international pageants, I always make sure that aside from the knowledge I've learned, the research I made, I also have this kind of gut feeling. Sometimes I use my gut feel. But, I want people to know that there's a lot of contribution from different correspondents, from different experts from Mississology. So we did it all the times. So yeah, we got the final decision, and I'm very much excited for every one of us to choose who will be this year's Miss Universe Philippines. So please watch out for the Missology's final hot
picks. Yes, guys, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to hear all your insights and all your opinions. Kenneth, welcome to the club. It's your first time to join with our beauty talks. I hope this is not the last. Unfortunately, Stephen has other commitments, so he cannot join us.
And hi, Stephen. If you're watching now, hi, Stephen.
And I also understand if he has other excuses because he is very close with Miss Quezon Province, given that Atisa won first runner-up. So he doesn't want to be seen as biased or worse, if he will not choose her. He doesn't want to be seen as he abandoned her first runner-up before. So guys, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to hear all your insights. I do apologize for my raspy voice because I'm actually suffering from sore throat, but that's not a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, thank you so much for participating in our discussion this morning, this evening, or this afternoon, wherever in the world you are. And watch out for our final hot picks for Miss Universe Philippines. Kenneth already committed to design the final graphics, and he
and I'm so
promised that he
excited
will give his
for
best.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish to see a different graphic this time, Kenneth.
Yes.
Now, so much pressure on him. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. It's been wonderful to talk with you, and I hope to see you next time again on the next edition of Beauty Talks. Again, thank you so much for participating.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Kenneth. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sir Amir and Sir Rick.